Hello, welcome to Mr. B's ukulele channel. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy watching.
This is my level 4 song, Do Re Mi, written of course for The Sound of Music in 1965. And this is a beautiful song to sing on your ukulele. I've put it in at level 4 just because there's a lot of chords in there, nothing demanding, but there are a lot of chord changes, and also a tiny finger picking pattern I've put in at the beginning and the end as well, just to add a bit of fun to the song. So it's a little bit more challenging than my other some of my other songs. So I've put it in at level 4, and I think you're going to really enjoy this one. It's a really nice one to sing. I've done a few different parts to it. It's not just a simple do re mi, so there's quite a lot to get your head around. So I'll have a look at the chords. We'll have a look at the strumming, which is very simple. We'll have a look at the finger picking. In fact, we might start with the finger picking. So finger picking first, then chords and strumming. Then we'll do a walkthrough and look at the layout, and then finish with a bit of a demo. Okay, here we go. Let's get into it. So let's start with that finger picking pattern, and it's a nice simple one. It's a backwards C scale, so a descending C scale pattern. We start off with the C, single C strum. So third finger on the C fret for your single strum, and I do, because it's a nice single strum, you want it to echo nicely, I do it with my thumb. And then we're going into this pattern. And then into the first verse. Oh dear. So that's the pattern, and it's third finger on the A, second finger on the A, open A, third finger on the E, first finger on the E, open E, second finger on the C, and then your C chord. Oh dear. And really the easy way to explain how to do that is just using your thumb and your index finger, just alternate. So I've done strum with my, if you look on the illustration I've done, you see I've done the thumb markings in red and the index finger in blue, and I've done the strum in red, so for my thumb, and then index, thumb, index, thumb, index, thumb, index, and then oh a dear, a female dear. You can do the first chord, whichever is easiest. You don't have to stick exactly to that. What I would say is it just helps to alternate. So use your thumb and your first finger and just alternate as much as you can. A dear, a female dear. So hopefully that's relatively clear. It's not a complicated pattern to learn. It's a great little introduction to finger picking as well. So have a look at that. Spend a bit of time on that to go with the song. Of course, you don't have to put that into the song. As we'll see when we do the walkthrough, it only comes up in 2 places, so you can just leave it out if you want to. But it's a lovely little addition for the song if you're able to put that in. Okay, let's have a look at the chords and get into the main part of the song. Right, so there's a lot of chords here. Let's look through them in order. So we've got 9 chords actually, starting with, well, it starts on G, but we'll go through the chords in alphabetical order. So we've got an A minor. That's our second finger on the 2nd fret on the G string, of course. We've got the C that I've already mentioned, third finger on your 3rd fret on the A string. We've got the C7, first finger on the A string on the 1st fret now. We've got a couple of D chords, not the D itself, but we've got a D7, which is basically your D chord and your C chord together. So 2nd finger on the 2nd fret, a bridge, a semi-bar rather, across the 3 strings at the top, the G, C and the E. Don't worry if you go across all 4 strings though, because on this one you're putting your 3rd finger down on the C chord position. So actually you can do a full bar on the 2nd fret, and then just pinch the 3rd fret on the A string to make it into a D7. Then we've got the D minor 7, where we basically, if you do a D minor chord, which is your 2nd finger now just on the G and the C strings, and you've got to be careful now just to do those 2 strings. First finger on the 1st fret on the E string to the side, and then your 3rd finger again in that C chord position on the A string. And that's a D minor 7. We've also got an E7, one of my favourite chords. Don't ask me why, just I really like these. I find it quite easy to play. It's a nice sounding chord. The E7. First finger on the top there on the G string on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the C string on the 2nd fret, and 3rd finger underneath it on the 2nd fret on the A string. We've also got the F chord, Should be nice and easy to us all. First and second finger on the first and second fret. Just have a look at the diagram if you need to for that. Then we've got the G and the G7. G and G7. Have a quick look at the G. First and second finger on the second fret there. Third finger at the side on the third fret. And the G7. First finger now on the first fret. Second and third finger now on the second fret. Okay, so have a look at those two chords and have a look at all the chords. Stop at any you're not sure about, and just have a look at the diagrams. And if you just remember, the chord diagrams I do have the numbers in the circles. That's the finger you're using. So if it says number 1, you put your index finger there. If it says number 2, you put your second finger there. So, and it's not a golden rule. You have to do exactly that, but they are generally the easiest positions to play those chords in, and they're the ones generally used around by musicians. But of course, if you find particularly a variation better for you, well, that's okay. But yeah, it's a guide and it's a suggestion as to how you can play those chords. So do have a look through all those chords and check out any that you need to practice, and then we move on to the strumming. Okay, there are 3 different bits of strumming to look at, but there's nothing difficult there, so they're all really easy to learn. First bit we're going to look at is just some singles down strums, and they happen near the beginning and at the very end as well. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. And that's preceding the finger picking pattern that we've already looked at in both places at the beginning and the end. So it's just a nice little scale there for you to sing with some single strums underneath. And the only tip I'd give there is to use your thumb for the single strums. You get a nice reverberating strum that way. So use your thumb on those single strums instead of your index finger. The other 2 patterns are very, very simple. At the very beginning, we've got a very slow, very softly, almost spoken verse. Let's start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. And all I'm doing there, all the way through, just a really faint down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. When you read, you begin with A, B, C. When you sing, you begin with Do, Re, Mi. Really nice and simple. Just down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Do it really softly. Again, use your index finger for that one because it's just a bit lighter than your thumb. And nice to get a nice quick up, down, or down, up pattern. Really easy, nothing to worry about there. Then the main pattern. Do, a deer, a female deer, a drop of golden sun. I'm just doing down, down, up, down, down, up. And it's just really easy. It changes quite quickly, but the strumming is really easy there. Down, down, up, down, down, up. Just keeps the whole thing flowing really nicely. So that's your strumming. 3 different bits, and they're color-coded on my sheet music if you have a careful look at it. You can see it starts with the red, the chords in red, with the down, up, red pattern. The main verse underneath is in yellow with the down, up, the yellow pattern. And then you've got the single strums here and there at the beginning and the end in blue, just for a single strum. So really, really easy. I've also got the C scale, where it says C scale in purple, both at the beginning and the end. You can see at the top it's just marked C scale, and that's that little finger picking pattern, which is basically a descending C scale there. So it's nice and hopefully easy to follow. We'll look at the layout later on. Okay, let's get into a walkthrough and see how it all fits together. So I've already talked through a lot of it with the strumming. So let's just recap that. It starts with the really soft, like I say, almost spoken few lines at the beginning with the down, up pattern. It starts on a G. Let's start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. When you read, you begin with, go to the C chord, A, B, C. When you back to the G, sing, you begin with C chord, Do, Re, Mi. The first on the G, first 3 notes, just C chord, happen to be Do, Re, Mi. Now single strum, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, G7 single strum, T. And then we do our C scale pattern. If you want to include it, you could just skip to the main verse here, otherwise if you're struggling with this pattern. But here we do a single strum on the C, and then the pattern. And then we go straight into singing verse 1 with the down, up pattern on a C. do, a dear, a female dear, G7, re, a drop of golden sun, C chord, me, her name, I call myself, G, far a long, long way to run, C to C7, so a needle pulling F chord, thread, D7 now, La, a note to follow, G chord, Do, E7, T, a drink with jam, and A minor to C7, bread, that will D minor 7, bring us G7, back to C and G7, Do, ho, 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 do, a dear, and then you do that again, we do that twice there. Then we go into the bridge in the middle, which is this bit. So, do, la, fa. So that bit we're just basically going through a whole lot of chords with each note of the musical alphabet. So it starts on a C, so to C7, do. The thing to remember here is it's mostly one word per chord, except for the third one on the F, where you do 2 words. Well, la, fa, la, fa. So don't just change automatically onto the next chord, and then you'll be one out of sync. So it's C on the C for the word so, C7 for do, do, F for la and fa, la, fa, then C for me, D7 for do, do, G7 for re, re, C again, so, C7, do, F, la, G7, T, C, do, G7 again, and then the C, re, do, and then we put the words in. When you know the notes to sing, and again, don't forget that on the F, know the 2 words for the F chord. Notes to sing, C, U, C7, can, F, sing, G7, most, C, G7, C, anything, and then we go back to the main verse, do, a dear, a female dear, G7, re, a drop of golden sun, and we sing that all the way through until we get to the end where we do the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. And that's how we finish this song. So you can see there how it all fits together. If we have a very quick look at the layout just to clarify that. So it starts with the down, up, softly spoken verse at the introduction, followed by the C scale. Then into the main verse 1, do, a dear, a female dear, which we do twice. And then over to the bridge, so, do, la, fa, mi, do, re, which we just do the once through. And then we finish with the main verse a third and final time with that C scale one more time at the end of the song. Now this is just my interpretation of the song, because the whole song, I mean, some people just literally do the do, re, mi once through and that's the song they do. Some people do the whole song. If you listen to the Sound of Music, the original version of this song, there's a lot of spoken bits from Julie Andrews as well. So there's a lot of extra bits thrown in there that I've really just taken a few parts of that to include in my arrangement of this. But there's more to the song if you want to add it in as well. But that's basically the main parts of it and the bulk of it. And I think that makes a nice arrangement for you to learn to sing. So I hope you enjoy learning that song. And thanks for watching the video and take care.